Hello, English learners. Welcome back to another lesson here with us at English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
And today we are going to have a very casual, normal conversation.
That's right. We're going to listen in on some small talk between a taxi driver and the passenger.
Small talk. So that's basically...
small, short conversations you have with someone that you don't know very well.
Okay, so typical questions like how old are you, where you're from, etc.
That's right. And this can be really hard for English learners because they often don't know what the right thing to say or the right thing to talk about. So we're going to give you a lot of phrases in this lesson that you can use in small talk.
Okay, so we don't have anything to preview today, so let's listen to the dialogue for the first time, and then we'll come back.
Where to, miss?
Hi, Crenshaw and Hawthorne at the Holiday Inn that is on that corner.
Sure thing. So, where are you flying in from?
From China.
Really? You don't look very Chinese to me, if you don't mind me saying so.
It's fine. I am actually from Mexico. I was in China on a business trip, visiting some local companies that manufacture bathroom products.
Wow, sounds interesting. Excuse me if I'm being a bit nosy, but how old are you?
Don't you know it's rude to ask a lady her age?
Don't get me wrong. It's just that you seem so young and already doing business overseas.
Well, thank you. In that case, I am 26 years old. And what about yourself?
I'm 40 years old and was born and raised here in the good old US of A. Although I have some Colombian heritage.
Really? That's great. Do you speak Spanish?
Yeah, of course.
Qué bien, entonces podemos hablar en español.
All right, so I don't think this guy spoke much Spanish, do you?
No, even though he has Colombian heritage, I think he doesn't speak much. But maybe he's just a little bit rusty.
Maybe, but what he does speak is English, and since this is English Pod, why don't we look at some of the phrases that they used for small talk in Fluency Builder?
Fluency Builder.
All right, so today on Fluency Builder, we're going to take a look at phrases that both the passenger and the taxi driver use to make small talk. So why don't we start with the first one?
All right, so the taxi driver tells the passenger that she doesn't look very Chinese, if you don't mind me saying so.
Right, so he said, you don't look very Chinese to me, if you don't mind me saying so.
If you don't mind me saying so.
So what does he mean by this last part of his sentence?
Well, this is a phrase that we use to soften a sort of a statement that might be a little bit rude.
She could be Chinese.
Yeah.
Right? So it may be a little bit rude to say that, but he kind of apologizes.
That's right.
Right? By saying, if you don't mind me saying so.
Okay, so for example, I could say, hey, Marco, you look a little tired today, if you don't mind me saying so.
Okay, so does it always go at the end?
You could use it at the beginning. If you don't mind me saying so, I just don't think this is a good idea.
Okay, very good. So you can use this phrase in the beginning or at the end of a sentence.
Right, and it makes your statement a little bit less rude.
If you don't mind me saying so. Now, again, he also apologizes a little bit when he says, excuse me if I am being a bit nosy, but...
Excuse me if I'm being a bit nosy, but...
Excuse me if I'm being a bit nosy, but...
Okay, so let's take a look at this. Nosy, what's this?
Okay, when somebody is nosy, it means they're very curious. They are asking too many questions.
Yeah, asking more questions than they should ask.
Right. So he apologizes and says, well, excuse me if I'm asking too many questions. And then he asks her another question.
He asks her how old she is.
Right. So again, it's a polite way of maybe asking a question that might be a little bit sensitive.
Yeah, or a little bit impolite.
Okay. So, of course, asking a woman her age maybe is a little bit impolite, right?
Yes. Typically, women don't like that too much. But our next phrase, we heard the taxi driver say, don't get me wrong.
Don't get me wrong.
Don't get me wrong.
Okay, so don't get me wrong. He says, well, don't misunderstand what I'm saying.
That's right. This phrase is used so commonly in English that I think it would help us to hear some examples.
Example 1.
Don't get me wrong. It's not that I think you stole my computer. It's just that you were the only one who could get into my room.
Example 2. I do have a few problems with the plan, but don't get me wrong, I still think it's a good idea. Example 3.
Don't get me wrong. I think John's a nice guy. He's just a bit disorganized.
All right, very good example. So don't get me wrong, right?
That's right.
And now for the final phrase on putting it together today.
Well, the passenger, the woman, says her age. She says, I'm 26 years old. And what about yourself?
What about yourself?
What about yourself?
All right, now, this sentence isn't very correct, actually, right?
Yeah, technically it's not correct in grammar, but it is used so commonly every day by American English speakers that we thought we'd show it to you.
Okay, so you would say, I am 26 years old, and what about you?
That's right.
Okay, but commonly you will hear people say, what about yourself?
And if you use this, you'll sound really fluent and really native-like.
Okay, very good. So what about yourself?
So again, it's just like, what about you? So I could say, hey, Marco, I'm going away on holiday this weekend. And what about yourself?
Okay, what about yourself? So we've taken a look at these 4 phrases on putting it together. Why don't we listen to the dialogue for the second time? We're going to slow it down a little bit, and then we'll come back and take a look at some vocabulary words on language takeaway.
Where to, miss?
Hi, Crenshaw and Hawthorne at the Holiday Inn that is on that corner.
Sure thing. So, where are you flying in from?
From China.
Really? You don't look very Chinese to me, if you don't mind me saying so.
It's fine. I am actually from Mexico. I was in China on a business trip, visiting some local companies that manufacture bathroom products.
Wow, sounds interesting. Excuse me if I'm being a bit nosy, but how old are you?
Don't you know it's rude to ask a lady her age?
Don't get me wrong. It's just that you seem so young and already doing business overseas.
Well, thank you. In that case, I am 26 years old. And what about yourself?
I am 40 years old and was born and raised here in the good old US of A, although I have some Colombian heritage.
Really? That's great. Do you speak some Spanish?
Yeah, of course.
¡Qué bien! Entonces podemos hablar en español.
Well, we've got some interesting vocabulary words and phrases here in Language Takeaway. And the first one.
Well, after she gets in the taxi and tells him where she wants to go, he answers by saying, sure thing.
Sure thing.
Sure thing.
Sure thing.
So if I say, yeah, sure thing, what does that mean?
Well, let's listen to some examples to help us understand.
Example 1. Do you mind lending me $100?
Sure thing.
Example 2. Could you please send me the email by the end of the day?
Sure thing.
Example 3.
Do you mind lending me $100?
Sure thing.
Could you please send me the email by the end of the day?
Sure thing. Example 4. Can you get some milk on the way home?
Sure thing, I'm on my way now.
Okay, so sure thing, basically, yeah, no problem, or okay,
Or I'll do it.
I'll do it.
Yep.
It's fine.
Yep.
So it's a very common way. You will hear this a lot when somebody agrees or says, yes, no problem.
Yeah, and again, it will help you sound really native-like to use this phrase. Well, the next one, the taxi driver says, I was born and raised here.
I was born and raised here.
Born and raised.
Okay, so this is a way of saying I was born in this country and I haven't left this country.
That's right. So I'm from this country.
Okay, born and raised here in the good old US of A.
Good old US of A.
The good old US of A.
So this is a pretty interesting way of saying America.
Right. It's actually more of a phrase, right? The good old US of A.
Yep.
Okay, so it means the good United States of America.
Yeah, it's kind of a fond way or a friendly way of describing America.
All right. And we have one more word for language takeaway.
Well, the taxi driver was talking about his Colombian heritage.
Colombian heritage.
Heritage.
All right, so if I have Colombian heritage, what does that mean?
Your grandmother or, grandfather, great-grandmother, or someone in your family is from Colombia.
Okay, and what about the word heritage by itself?
Yeah, so your heritage is basically your culture, your...
Customs.
Yeah, your customs, your history.
Okay, so heritage. A country rich in heritage.
Lots of good old historical culture in that country.
Okay, very good. So now it's time for us to listen to the dialogue for the last time. Now we can understand all these phrases and these great words that we've just looked at, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit more.
Where to, miss?
Hi, Crenshaw and Hawthorne at the Holiday Inn that is on that corner.
Sure thing. So, where are you flying in from?
From China.
Really? You don't look very Chinese to me, if you don't mind me saying so.
It's fine. I am actually from Mexico. I was in China on a business trip, visiting some local companies that manufacture bathroom products.
Wow, sounds interesting. Excuse me if I'm being a bit nosy, but how old are you?
Don't you know it's rude to ask a lady her age?
Don't get me wrong. It's just that you seem so young and already doing business overseas.
Well, thank you. In that case, I am 26 years old, and what about yourself?
I'm 40 years old and was born and raised here in the good old US of A. Although I have some Colombian heritage.
Really? That's great. Do you speak Spanish?
Yeah, of course.
Qué bien, entonces podemos hablar en español.
So, Marco, this taxi driver makes a bit of a mistake when he asks the woman how old she is.
Yes, yeah, exactly. There are a couple of questions that in some cultures are considered to be normal and okay,
Yep.
but in other cultures they're not really well accepted.
Okay, so in Anglo culture, for example, it's really impolite to ask a woman how old she is.
Right, women are a little bit more sensitive about their age. Others aren't so much, but it's usually better to just not ask.
Yep. And what else should we avoid talking about in small talk?
Well, for example, when you ask a person their occupation,
Yep.
you can ask what they do for a living, but don't ask how much money they make.
That's right. Anglo people are really sensitive about talking about money. We hate talking about money.
Right, so don't ask somebody their salary or how much money they make. It's just not considered to be polite.
And another good one to be careful of is asking if someone is married or not.
Right, sometimes you're just being friendly and you
Yeah.
want to know if that person has family or
Yeah.
something. But you have to be careful when and where you ask this question.
Right. So if they've mentioned their family, or if they talked about their kids or something else to do with their family, then it's okay.
Right, you can say, well, oh, how long have you been married?
Yeah.
But if a guy asks a girl, oh, are you married? It kind of sounds like maybe he's interested in her or that he's trying to come on to her and to be maybe more than friendly, right?
That's right.
Okay.
So some great small talk tips and phrases here at English Pod. Now, if you have any questions about this lesson or any other lessons, be sure to visit our website at englishpod.com.
And if you also have any doubts about which questions you think are appropriate of asking somebody, yeah, come into the website and let us know.
So thanks for downloading, you guys, and until next time, goodbye.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word. That subject is too personal. Impolite.
Mind your own business.
Phrase you use when you don't want to answer a question.
That's personal.
Arrive.
Come in from.
Too much information.
TMI.
Too interested in others' private matters.
Nosy.
About a person's private thoughts, feelings, etc.
Personal.
Because of that.
In that case.
To look for private information about someone.
Snoop.
A polite phrase to use where you are saying something sensitive.
If you don't mind me saying so.
Do not misunderstand me.
Don't get me wrong.
Where would you like to go?
Where to?
In foreign countries.
Overseas.
To live in a place your whole life.
To be born and raised.
The United States.
The good old US of A.
Let's try that faster. Because of that.
In that case.
Where would you like to go?
Where to?
Arrive.
Come in from.
In foreign countries.
Overseas.
The United States.
The good old US of A.
About a person's private thoughts, feelings, etc.
Personal.
Do not misunderstand me.
Don't get me wrong.
To live in a place your whole life.
To be born and raised.
Too interested in others' private matters.
Nosy.
To look for private information about someone.
Snoop.
Too much information.
TMI.
A polite phrase to use where you are saying something sensitive.
If you don't mind me saying so.
That subject is too personal, impolite.
Mind your own business.
Phrase you use when you don't want to answer a question.
That's personal.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Come in from.
Where are you coming in from so late at night?
Come in from.
Flight number 441 just came in about an hour ago.
Come in from.
I think I'll be coming into Chicago at about noon tomorrow.
If you don't mind me saying so.
If you don't mind me saying so, I think the curry could be a little hotter next time.
If you don't mind me saying so.
The problem, if you don't mind me saying so, is pretty simple. You need a new computer.
If you don't mind me saying so.
You look really good in that dress, if you don't mind me saying so.
Nosy.
Phil is always asking so many personal questions. Frankly, I think he is just too nosy.
Nosy.
People should just mind their own business and stop being so nosy.
Nosy.
I don't mean to be nosy, but did I hear you say you are from Canada?
Don't get me wrong.
Don't get me wrong, it's not that I think you stole my computer. It's just that you were the only one who can get into my room.
Don't get me wrong.
I do have a few problems with the plan, but don't get me wrong, I still think it's a great idea.
Don't get me wrong.
Don't get me wrong, I think John is a nice guy, but he is a bit disorganized.
In that case.
30 people are coming to the party? In that case, we'll need some more beers.
In that case.
Charles is having an affair? In that case, I think Mary needs to get a divorce.
In that case.
The car is that expensive? In that case, I don't think I will be able to afford it. Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
My name is Catherine, and today's lesson is an advanced level lesson. That means we'll be speaking using our normal English tone of voice and using some very, very difficult vocabulary and phrases. So this is really good practice for all of you out there.
That's right. We're going to change a little bit the dynamic of how it works. We're not going to look specifically at language takeaway or fluency builder. We're going to talk about the topic. We are going to pick out a couple of different words and phrases that are used in the dialogue, but we're mainly going to just have a conversation, and you can just listen and study a little bit of what we're saying.
So what is the topic today, Marco?
Well, today we're going to talk about the environment, specifically about our carbon footprint.
Okay, that is the title of today's lesson. I encourage all of you to listen to the context of that phrase, and we'll be back in a moment to talk about what it and some of these other phrases mean.
So what's your guys' take on all this global warming hysteria in the media?
It's pretty serious, man. There have been tons of scientific studies, and the scientific community says that the Earth is heating up. We need to make some drastic changes to our lifestyle if we want to preserve our planet.
I don't know. It sounds like a bunch of mumbo-jumbo if you ask me. The Earth will save itself. It survived worse disasters in the past. I mean, honestly, we live in the boonies. There's no way anyone here is ever going to walk or bike to work, especially in the winter. And we have no bus system. My house is 40 years old, and it would take a lot of money to get it refitted to be green and energy efficient.
Well, I don't really know if I believe in global warming either, or whether or not it was our doing or a natural change the Earth is going through. But you have to admit that we're living pretty irresponsibly here in the West.
I guess.
I think the issue at hand is sustainability. We've only got this one Earth we can live on, and our resources are quickly disappearing because of our own carelessness and our inability to think of anyone but ourselves and anything but the present.
So, like I was saying, we need to change the way we live. We need to reduce our carbon footprint.
But it doesn't have to be that drastic. Hybrid vehicles and solar panels are too expensive to be feasible right now. And we don't have to be hippies living off the land and buying everything organic either, though it helps.
I carpool to work every day with some buddies of mine. I have a rain barrel outside my house I use to water my plants and my lawn in the summer, and I make sure I always bring reusable bags with me when I get my groceries. And we just started using biodegradable plastic made from corn oil for takeout orders at my family's restaurant. Remember the 3 R's? Reduce, reuse, recycle.
Exactly. It's just small, simple changes, like buying energy-saving light bulbs, starting a compost bin, recycling bottles and papers, using reusable water bottles, stop using disposable cups and cutlery.
Like the ones we're drinking out of?
Yeah.
All right, we're back. So, as you probably guessed, carbon footprint, it's pretty easy. You're talking about a footprint is the evidence you leave if you're walking on sand, for example.
Exactly.
And if we talk about carbon, we're talking about the element, right? Mm-hmm. Carbon.
Yep. So carbon is something that is in everything, basically. Mm-hmm. It's organic, but it can also, in the case of a carbon footprint, mean the amount of maybe waste or damage that we do to the earth or to the environment.
Right. So, for example, you're driving your car. We all know that the gas that is emitted from the exhaust pipe is CO2, right?
Yeah.
And that contains carbon. So that's a way of seeing that you're leaving a footprint of carbon. You are damaging the atmosphere a little bit by driving your car.
So in talking about a carbon footprint, we talk about having a low carbon footprint, which is good, or a very high carbon footprint, which is bad.
Right. So there were a lot of interesting things coming up in the dialogue. One of the first things was...
Well, the first thing that they're talking about in this dialogue is they're having kind of an argument about whether or not global warming and global climate change really exists.
Yeah, this is a very interesting part because some people say, well, global warming is happening, global warming is real. And other people say, well, it's not real. It's not really a problem. This is just a phase that the Earth will go through and like everything, it'll disappear.
Well, I agree with people who say that the Earth goes through phases because sometimes there are centuries that are hotter and sometimes there are centuries that are colder. But I think it's undeniable that there has been a large and immediate global climate change in the last maybe 20 years.
Yeah, we're definitely speeding up maybe that cycle, right?
Exactly. And I think what's great evidence of this and terrible evidence of this is the 3 earthquakes, massive earthquakes that have happened in the last couple of months. And I think that earthquakes like last year and like this year are really, really important reminders that we do, as humans, influence the way that the world responds to us.
I think I always see it as the Earth kind of just shaking its back, kind of saying like, get off me. You know?
Stop it.
Stop it.
That itches.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's kind of the way I see earthquakes sometimes. But when they were talking about, well, is it real? Is it not? They use a really interesting phrase when it says, it sounds like a bunch of mumbo jumbo.
Mumbo jumbo.
Yeah.
So this is a way to say that it sounds like a bunch of garbage, or it sounds like a bunch of gibberish. It sounds like a bunch of people are talking about something that doesn't really exist. So mumbo jumbo is basically something that's not really real or true.
I think, don't you also, can you use it as somebody that's saying something that you don't really understand?
Right. So if maybe I'm talking to you about something that's very academic and very scholarly, you say, sounds like a bunch of mumbo jumbo to me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what the person said. The environmental problems are a bunch of mumbo jumbo. But it was really interesting because they were like, well, we have to save the Earth. And then there was actually a phrase here that was really kind of hard for me to understand when the person said, I mean, honestly, we live in the boonies.
Boonies.
So what does it mean by living in the boonies?
This is a very common word to hear in spoken English, especially with young people. Boonies means we live far away from civilization. We live far away from cities. We live far away from everything. So maybe these people live in the countryside or in a small village. And they don't feel like they're affected by what people in the big cities do.
Okay. So if you say, oh, I live in the boonies, you're just saying, I live really far.
Really far away. So this is a very common American word, I think. You can also say boondocks, which is like that movie Boondock Saints. But boondocks and boonies means very far away. So I could say, Marco, I'm not going to drive out to your house for a party. You live in the boonies.
Do you have any other ways that you can say that you live really far away?
You live in Egypt.
You live in Egypt.
Which for us in America is obviously very, very far away.
Sometimes we say...
Yonks.
The yonks, exactly.
Yonks, people in New Zealand say that.
I've also heard people say, oh, you live where the wind turns around.
Really?
Did you hear that one? Yeah.
No, I like that
one. It's like
one.
You live so far. Oh, God, you live where the wind turns around.
The end of the earth.
Exactly.
Wow.
So, well, there are a lot of different ways of saying that. So they were talking about different aspects of the environment, like we heard the word green or energy efficient.
Okay, so basically what they're doing is they're talking about some of the things they've heard in the media maybe or on TV about what people are supposed to be doing. You know, these are very abstract. That means these are very kind of big terms. Go green or be more energy efficient.
Yeah, I've heard this. Like, for example, when people say, oh, you have to be more green or go green, that means more friendly towards the ecosystem, right?
That's right. So this is a very general suggestion, and we can talk about specifics in a minute, but this is a very general suggestion for thinking about the environment and doing things to help it. And so go green or be green is a way to be more environmentally friendly. We also have using energy efficient computers or light bulbs or TVs.
Right.
And the third thing that they talk about, and this is something that comes up a lot, is sustainability.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, that's a big word that a lot of people like to use.
It is.
In this type of topic, sustainability.
Right. So sustainability comes from the word to sustain. That means to hold out over time or to continue. So you think about something. Maybe sustainability is, I think, in many cases about doing or having habits, doing things that you can continue to do for a long time. For example, driving a big SUV to work every day is not keeping in mind sustainability because one day there will be no oil. So then what do we do?
Right.
So that's not a sustainable action. Sustainable actions mean that we have less impact, negative impact on the world.
Right. So basically what you're trying to do is to sustain, which means to hold, to withstand these habits, for example.
Right.
So when you talk about a sustainable ecosystem, it means that it has everything it needs and it can continue to work for a very, very long time.
Right. So you can also talk about sustainable development, which we talk about in aid and giving aid to other countries. So sustainable development is trying to help other countries or other people in ways that they can continue to do for a long time.
It's also very popular with tourism. They talk about sustainable tourism.
Right. That means thinking about the environment and having tourism that can last forever, not tourism that will destroy the environment because it's very harmful.
It's a very interesting topic, and as you say, it's used in a wide range of cases. Sustainable development, sustainable projects, sustainable tourism. There are a lot of different ways that people use this, but it's basically the same thing, right? In essence, it refers to that.
Yes, keeping something going over time. But I think the big question here is, if you want to go green, if you want to be environmentally friendly, what do you do? Because it's not about big ideas. It's about specifics. It's about changing your everyday actions, right? And so these guys had a couple of ideas.
Yeah, they came up with something like, for example, hybrid vehicles, which is a big thing now. Basically, hybrid means two, right? It's a combination of two or more.
That's right. So, the Sphinx in Egypt, that's a hybrid.
Right, between a man and a lion.
Exactly.
Right. So a hybrid vehicle basically uses gasoline, but also electricity. So they're actually very efficient because...
And they're quiet.
They're quiet. And usually where you use up most of your gasoline is in traffic. Because your car is on, you're accelerating, you're braking, you're accelerating, you're braking. So in this case, I think hybrid vehicles run on the electric engine until they hit, I think it's 30 miles per hour, yeah. And once you surpass that, then it switches to the gas engine, which obviously if you have a constant high speed, it's more efficient, the combustion of the gasoline.
Exactly. So a good example of a hybrid vehicle is the Toyota Prius.
Right. I think it was like the first one commercially available.
But now they have all kinds, and they're actually trying to make entirely electric cars. So lots of things to watch out for there. But they also talked about something for the house, right? So if you want to not just have a nice car that is environmentally friendly, but also to do things with your house, what can you put on your roof?
I think we've seen a lot of these. These are called solar panels.
Okay, solar has to do with the sun. So solar power, solar panel, that means energy that comes from the sun. So the sun. And a panel is like a pad or like a some kind of device that can take the energy from the sun.
Yeah, it's really, really good. Basically, in some places you have anywhere between 8 to 12 hours of sunlight. So the whole day, these panels are absorbing energy. You can store them maybe in batteries and then just use them later. So basically, you don't really need to use electricity that comes from coal or from nuclear power plants because, you want to turn on a light, it doesn't really use up a lot of electricity.
And there's no waste.
It's all clean.
So my question for you, does Ecuador have a lot of solar panels everywhere? Because you guys have so much sunlight down there.
We don't really have a lot of them. It's not a big commercial thing yet, but there are a lot of projects going around to help implement these things a lot better. For example, taking these technologies to the countryside where people don't have access to electricity by means of cables, right? So they're implementing that there, getting them to use it, but it's still expensive. That's the problem with solar panels is that, of course, it's an energy efficient way of going. It'll save you money in the long run, but
up front
you got to spend a lot of money.
Well, and here's a good way to use sustaining. If someone in the countryside has solar panels in their house, it's a self-sustaining way to produce energy.
Exactly.
You don't have to depend on another place or a person.
Yeah, actually, this is a very popular thing in many developed countries. I remember when I was living in Chile, big buildings were being marketed as energy efficient and green by showing that they can be self-sustaining. So basically, they would have solar panels on the roof. They would collect sunlight all day, and then they had big batteries that would store this energy, and then you can use it. They were more efficient into keeping heat or keeping the cold. And also what we saw in the vocab that they also had was rain barrels. So basically collecting water from the rain, and then they can use this water obviously through a filtering system in order to be able to drink it or to wash your clothes and stuff. But basically they would say that it could reduce your carbon footprint by more than 50%, and also the amount of money you would spend, because you wouldn't spend so much money on water, you wouldn't spend so much money on electricity or gas and things like this.
That's awesome. Well, one of the biggest concerns as far as environmentalism is water. Where water will come from in 50 years.
Yeah.
Because there is a limited amount of fresh water in the world.
Yes.
And if we can reuse rainwater and collect it, I think it's brilliant. So a barrel basically is like a big container, circular. It's like a circle, and it stands up on the ground or on a roof.
And it's brilliant because if you have a rain barrel that collects all this rain, and you have solar panels, basically you don't need gas or electricity to take a warm shower. You just have the solar panels that can heat up the rain barrel water, and there you have a warm water. You have a warm
sounds so
shower.
nice. You have sun-kissed warmth, and you have like fresh rainwater. And
but the whole water issue is a very popular topic. I recommend that any of our listeners read. There's a very interesting article that talks about, don't worry about petroleum running out in 50 years. We're probably going to run out of our water before that.
Yeah.
And they project droughts and huge famine in places like India, like in the Middle East, in even in places of China.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, not to scare anyone, but
but yeah, it's interesting reading though. Yeah, it's really good.
Very serious stuff. Well, the last thing that I think we should talk about before we listen to today's audio file again is the compost bin. Now, this is maybe something that's hard to understand for someone who's never seen one before.
Yeah.
But basically, compost is... well, the verb is compost, to compost, but it's also a noun. But a lot of people, they don't want to throw away their food and their, organic material, things like flowers and food and biodegradable things. They actually reuse them. So basically, they have a space in the backyard of the house where they throw away all the old food.
Yeah.
Nothing plastic, nothing non-biodegradable. And that over time turns into fertilizer or mulch for their gardens.
Yeah.
So basically you're putting it back into the earth.
Yeah. No, this is a very good option, and I remember seeing that even in Brazil, they have huge compost bins or compost places that they fill up with this garbage, and obviously things that decompose start to emit methane gas.
Yeah.
So they've found a way to harness this gas, transport it through tubes, and start using it. So actually having gas stoves with this methane gas.
That's brilliant. So you can get two uses,
Right.
fertilizer and methane gas.
Yeah,
Very
so
smart.
there are a lot of options there to go green, to do your part to help the earth.
Wow. So let's listen again to the dialogue that we had today. Hopefully we've cleared up some of the things that were confusing for you, and we'll be back in just a moment.
So what's your guys' take on all this global warming hysteria in the media?
It's pretty serious, man. There have been tons of scientific studies, and the scientific community says that the Earth is heating up. We need to make some drastic changes to our lifestyle if we want to preserve our planet.
I don't know. It sounds like a bunch of mumbo jumbo if you ask me. The Earth will save itself. It survived worse disasters in the past. I mean, honestly, we live in the boonies. There's no way anyone here is ever going to walk or bike to work, especially in the winter. And we have no bus system. My house is 40 years old, and it would take a lot of money to get it refitted to be green and energy efficient.
Well, I don't really know if I believe in global warming either, or whether or not it was our doing or a natural change the Earth is going through. But you have to admit that we're living pretty irresponsibly here in the West.
I guess.
I think the issue at hand is sustainability. We've only got this one Earth we can live on, and our resources are quickly disappearing because of our own carelessness and our inability to think of anyone but ourselves and anything but the present.
So, like I was saying, we need to change the way we live. We need to reduce our carbon footprint.
But it doesn't have to be that drastic. Hybrid vehicles and solar panels are too expensive to be feasible right now. And we don't have to be hippies living off the land and buying everything organic either, though it helps.
I carpool to work every day with some buddies of mine. I have a rain barrel outside my house I use to water my plants and my lawn in the summer, and I make sure I always bring reusable bags with me when I get my groceries. And we just started using biodegradable plastic made from corn oil for takeout orders at my family's restaurant. Remember the 3 R's? Reduce, reuse, recycle.
Exactly. It's just small, simple changes, like buying energy-saving light bulbs, starting a compost bin, recycling bottles and papers, using reusable water bottles, stop using disposable cups and cutlery.
Like the ones we're drinking out of?
Yeah.
All right, we're back. So it's a very interesting topic, very debatable. We have Earth Day coming up, I think. You have to turn off your lights for an hour.
That's right, Earth Hour, Earth Day. So remember, reduce, reuse, recycle, the 3 R's.
Yeah.
Think about the way that you use things and, try and reuse them if you can.
Yeah, it's a very good topic. We want to know what you think about it. And also, if you have any suggestions or any comments about future advanced lessons, why don't you tell us?
Our carbon footprint. Our carbon footprint is the total amount of carbon dioxide, CO2, and other greenhouse gases we produce through our daily activities. Everything we do, from driving a car to using electricity, contributes to our carbon footprint. Greenhouse gases trap heat in the atmosphere, causing global warming and climate change. Understanding our carbon footprint and learning how to reduce it is important for protecting the environment and making the world a better place. What creates a carbon footprint? A carbon footprint comes from many sources, including transportation, energy use, food production, and waste. Some activities produce more carbon than others. The more energy and resources we use, the bigger our carbon footprint becomes. Transportation. Cars, buses, trains, and airplanes burn fuel to operate. When fuel burns, it releases carbon dioxide into the air. Air travel has a large carbon footprint because airplanes burn a lot of fuel. Driving cars that run on gasoline or diesel also adds to our carbon footprint. Walking, biking, or using public transportation can help reduce our carbon footprint. Electricity and energy use. Electricity is produced by burning fossil fuels like coal, oil, and natural gas. Using electricity for lights, air conditioning, heating, and appliances increases our carbon footprint. The more energy we use, the more carbon is released. Turning off lights when not needed, using energy-efficient appliances, and choosing renewable energy sources like solar or wind power can help reduce our footprint. Food production and agriculture. The food we eat also affects our carbon footprint. Producing meat, especially beef, requires a lot of land, water, and food for animals. Cows produce methane, a powerful greenhouse gas that contributes to global warming. Transporting food from farms to stores also burns fuel and releases carbon. Eating more fruits, vegetables, and locally grown food helps lower our carbon footprint. Waste and pollution. When we throw things away, they often end up in landfills. As waste breaks down, it produces methane gas. Factories that make plastic, paper, and other products use energy and create pollution. Recycling, reusing items, and reducing waste can help lower our carbon footprint. How to reduce our carbon footprint. There are many ways to reduce our carbon footprint and help the environment. Even small changes in our daily habits can make a big difference. Use less energy. Turning off lights, using energy-efficient bulbs, and unplugging devices when not in use can save electricity. Using less heating and cooling by wearing warm clothes in winter, and using fans in summer also reduces energy use. Choose green transportation. Walking, biking, and using public transport like buses or trains reduce carbon emissions. Carpooling and driving fuel-efficient or electric cars also help lower our footprint. Eat a sustainable diet. Eating less meat, especially beef, and choosing plant-based foods can lower carbon emissions. Buying locally grown food reduces the need for transportation. Reducing food waste by planning meals and eating leftovers also helps. Recycle and reduce waste. Recycling paper, plastic, glass, and metal saves energy and reduces pollution. Using reusable bags, bottles, and containers helps cut down on waste. Composting food scraps instead of throwing them away can also lower our carbon footprint. Use renewable energy. Switching to solar or wind energy reduces reliance on fossil fuels. If renewable energy is not available, using less electricity and fuel is still an effective way to reduce carbon emissions. Plant trees and support green projects. Trees absorb carbon dioxide from the air and help clean the environment. Planting trees and supporting projects that protect forests and natural areas can help reduce our overall carbon footprint. Why reducing our carbon footprint is important. Reducing our carbon footprint is important because it helps slow down climate change. Global warming causes rising sea levels, extreme weather, and damage to ecosystems. By lowering our carbon emissions, we can protect nature, animals, and human life. A smaller carbon footprint also improves air quality and public health. Less pollution means cleaner air and fewer health problems, like asthma and lung disease. Saving energy also reduces costs, helping people save money on electricity and fuel. Governments, businesses, and individuals all play a role in reducing carbon footprints. Countries are creating laws to reduce emissions. Companies are making eco-friendly products, and people are changing their habits to live more sustainably. Conclusion. Our carbon footprint is the total amount of carbon dioxide and greenhouse gases we produce through our daily activities. Transportation, energy use, food production, and waste all contribute to our carbon footprint. However, there are many ways to reduce it, such as using less energy, choosing green transportation, eating sustainably, recycling, and using renewable energy. Reducing our carbon footprint helps protect the planet, slow climate change, and create a healthier future for everyone. Even small changes can make a big difference when we all work together.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
Unintelligible or incomprehensible language. Mumbo jumbo. Gain heat or get hot. Heat up. Maintain in safety from injury, peril, or harm. Preserve. Rural, country, or jungle. Boonies. Keep in existence and maintain. Sustainability. Sudden and severe. Drastic. Capable of being done with means at hand. Feasible. Add new parts. Refit. Prepare and equip for additional use. Refit. Available source of wealth. Resource. Share the car with others to work. Carpool.
Let's try that faster.
Sudden and severe. Drastic. Capable of being done with means at hand. Feasible. Maintain in safety from injury, peril, or harm. Preserve. Prepare and equip for additional use. Refit. Unintelligible or incomprehensible language. Mumbo jumbo. Share the car with others to work. Carpool. Rural, country, or jungle. Boonies. Keep in existence and maintain. Sustainability. Available source of wealth. Resource. Gain heat or get hot. Heat up. Add new parts. Refit.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Mumbo jumbo. That's a load of mumbo jumbo. There is no such thing as aliens. Mumbo jumbo. That's a bunch of mumbo jumbo. You guys like each other and get along well together, so you should at least try one date.
Hello, English learners. Welcome back to another lesson with us at English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
And today we don't feel very good.
That's right. Actually, in this lesson, we're talking about a hangover.
Hangover. Wow, that's an interesting word. What does that mean?
Well, when you drink beer or wine or vodka and you drink too much of it, the next morning you have a hangover.
Okay, so a lot of our listeners have probably experienced a hangover before.
It's very likely.
But the problem is when you have to go to work the next day.
Yes, and you might need to actually miss work, but you need some good words and phrases to describe how bad you feel.
Okay, so let's listen to this dialogue for the first time. We have a guy describing his hangover and why he missed work that day.
Are you okay, man? You don't look very well.
I feel terrible. I went out last night with Trevor and things got a little out of hand.
Nice. So where did you guys go?
We hit up a couple of local bars and met up with some friends. Everything was cool until Mike came along, and it turned out that it was his birthday yesterday.
Oh no! Mike's birthday is a drink fest for sure.
Tell me about it. We drank everything in the bar.
Is that why you missed work today?
Yeah, I woke up this morning feeling really nauseous. I threw up like 5 times.
Ew.
I was so dehydrated that I drank a gallon of water and my head has been pounding all day. I swear, I am never going to drink again.
Too bad, man. Tonight is Tracy's going away party and she asked if you were going to go.
Oh yeah? I'm there.
All right, so he's never drinking again, but then at the next chance for a party, he's already ready to go.
I think that's the typical lie of every person that drinks. They say, I'll never drink again, but a week later or a month later, they are again.
Or a day later.
All right, so we saw some great vocab here, so let's look at it now in Language Takeaway.
Language takeaway.
We're going to look at 5 words here. Now, the first one, they talked about how Mike's birthday is a drink fest.
A drink fest.
It's a drink fest.
All right, so we have this word drink fest. Now, what is this fest part?
Well, maybe you recognize the word Oktoberfest.
Okay, or festival.
So fest is like a party. There's lots of food. There's lots of drink. A drink fest is an event where there's a lot of drinks.
Okay, so can I have different types of fests?
Yeah, this is a really informal sort of slang way of saying there's lots of something. So I could say, oh my God, it's a puppy fest.
So there are a lot of puppies. Or I can say like a fast food fest.
Okay, so you're eating a lot of fast food.
There's a lot of fast food.
Yep.
All right, so fest. Interesting. Now, when he was describing his hangover, he said that he felt really nauseous.
Nauseous?
Nauseous.
Now, I always have a hard time spelling this word. So Nauseous. Nauseous.
Nauseous. It kind of seems like you should say nauseous.
Right, but
But you say nauseous.
yeah. Okay, so when you're feeling nauseous, what do you feel like?
So you feel dizzy, you don't feel very well.
Like your stomach hurts.
Yeah, and your head is kind of spinning.
Okay, and you feel like you might throw up.
Right, exactly. Now, this word that you just mentioned, throw up, is actually our next word, and, well, we're not going to describe it. Why don't we just listen to a person throwing up?
Oh, Marco, that was horrible.
Well, that's the only way we could actually explain throw up. I mean, it's kind of a hard word to explain, but I'm sure everyone understands now what it means, right?
Okay, the word is to throw up.
To throw up.
To throw up. Our next word. Now, our guy who's hungover, he said, I was so dehydrated.
Dehydrated.
To be dehydrated.
So this is an adjective, and it means that I have no water in my body.
Exactly.
Okay, so I am dehydrated. I need water.
Yeah, common feeling after drinking too much beer, huh?
Exactly.
Now, our final word, he said he had a headache, and he said, my head's been pounding all day.
Okay, so his head has been pounding all day.
Now, this verb, pounding, it sounds like this.
All right, so a clear example of what your head feels like when you have this very bad headache.
You can also say, I have a pounding headache.
I have a pounding headache, exactly.
Or my head is pounding.
All right, so 5 great words that we just looked at right now. So why don't we listen to our dialogue a second time? Let's slow it down just a little bit, and then we'll come back and take a look at some phrases.
Are you okay, man? You don't look very well.
I feel terrible. I went out last night with Trevor, and things got a little out of hand.
Nice. So where did you guys go?
We hit up a couple of local bars and met up with some friends. Everything was cool until Mike came along, and it turned out that it was his birthday yesterday.
Oh, no. Mike's birthday is a drink fest for sure.
Tell me about it. We drank everything in the bar.
Is that why you missed work today?
Yeah, I woke up this morning feeling really nauseous. I threw up like 5 times.
Ew.
I was so dehydrated that I drank a gallon of water, and my head has been pounding all day. I swear, I am never going to drink again.
Too bad, man. Tonight is Tracy's going away party, and she asked if you were going to go.
Oh yeah? I'm there.
All right, well, that was a little easier to understand this time. Now, you mentioned that we've got some great phrases, so let's go to them now in Fluency Builder.
Fluency Builder.
All right, so as we heard in the dialogue, the party was, I think it was a great party, right?
Well, it sounds like it was fantastic.
Well, apparently it was a great party, and he said that he went out with Trevor, and things got a little out of hand.
Things got a little out of hand.
Right, so things got a little out of hand.
Now, to get out of hand, what's that mean?
Well, we have some examples, so let's listen to a couple of them before we explain it.
Example 1.
Honey, the kids are getting a little out of hand. Can you do something?
Example 2.
Guys, this argument is getting out of hand. Let's all calm down.
Example 3.
The party last night got out of hand. The neighbors called the police.
Okay, so when things get out of hand, you lose control.
Exactly, they get out of control, just a little bit maybe.
Yeah, go a little crazy.
All right, so things got a little out of hand. Now, the opposite of this was everything was cool.
Everything was cool.
So everything was cool.
So basically, everything was okay, everything was relaxed, everything was going fine.
Exactly. And then Mike came along, and then things got a little out of hand.
Oh, that Mike.
And now for our last phrase. He was describing that Mike's birthday party was a drink fest, right?
And then his friend agreed. He said, tell me about it.
Tell me about it.
Tell me about it.
Now, what does this mean exactly when he says, tell me about it?
Basically, it means I completely understand.
I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I could say, oh my God, Marco, it's so hot outside today.
Right, and I would say, oh, I know, tell me about it. Right? So I'm saying, yeah, I agree with you, you are right.
Yeah.
Very good. So these phrases, okay, so 3 great phrases that we just looked at. Let's listen to our dialogue for the last time, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit more.
Are you okay, man? You don't look very well.
I feel terrible. I went out last night with Trevor and things got a little out of hand.
Nice. So where did you guys go?
We hit up a couple of local bars and met up with some friends. Everything was cool until Mike came along, and it turned out that it was his birthday yesterday.
Oh no. Mike's birthday is a drink fest for sure.
Tell me about it. We drank everything in the bar.
Is that why you missed work today?
Yeah, I woke up this morning feeling really nauseous. I threw up like 5 times.
Ew.
I was so dehydrated that I drank a gallon of water and my head has been pounding all day. I swear, I am never going to drink again.
Too bad, man. Tonight is Tracy's going away party and she asked if you were going to go.
Oh yeah? I'm there.
So it sounds like these guys sure like to go out and have a few drinks, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. And I think this is a very common thing among, well, young people, usually in the United States. You know, after a day at the office or something, they'll go, or even Europe, they'll go to the pub, right?
Yeah, but the thing is that in America and Canada, we're very careful about alcohol and young people, right?
Yeah, exactly. The legal drinking age in the most part of the United States is 21 years of age.
Mm-hmm. And really, many parents or families will never let their children drink alcohol until they're 21.
Right. And also the laws that control alcohol. Like, for example, on television, if you notice a TV commercial with a beer or a wine, you will never see the person actually drinking it. It's illegal.
Yeah, that's true.
While in other countries, it's okay. You'll see people drinking it and having fun. In these commercials, they can only maybe put them close to their lips, but not drink it.
Interesting. And another weird thing is that, sometimes you might want to sit in your back garden or out on your porch and have a beer after work, right? But in places, it's totally illegal to do that. You can't be outside with alcohol.
Right. You can't be seen drinking, or you can't be on the sidewalk or on a bus drinking. Yeah. While in other places, you can, right?
You can just have a beer on the subway.
So it's a little bit different policies on alcohol control. What do you guys think about it? Do you think it's correct, or do you think maybe it's a little bit too exaggerated?
Come to our website, englishpod.com, and tell us about it.
All right, we'll see you guys there, and until next time.
Thanks for downloading, and goodbye.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word. Become out of control.
Got a little out of hand.
Very drunk.
Wasted.
To go to a place.
Hit.
To vomit.
Barf.
To happen a certain way.
Turned out.
Medicine you take to cure a headache.
Painkillers.
I agree. I understand.
Tell me about it.
I feel very bad.
I feel like death.
Feel like you are going to vomit.
Nauseous.
Drink alcohol when you have a hangover to cure it.
Hair of the dog.
Vomit.
Threw up.
Lacking water.
Dehydrated.
To beat loudly and quickly.
Pounding.
Let's try that faster. To beat loudly and quickly.
Pounding.
Feel like you are going to vomit.
Nauseous.
Drink alcohol when you have a hangover to cure it.
Hair of the dog.
To happen a certain way.
Turned out.
To go to a place.
Hit.
I agree. I understand.
Tell me about it.
Lacking water.
Dehydrated.
Vomit.
Threw up.
Very drunk.
Wasted.
Become out of control.
Got a little out of hand.
Medicine you take to cure a headache.
Painkillers.
To vomit.
Barf.
I feel very bad.
I feel like death.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Got a little out of hand. Honey, the kids are getting a little out of hand. Can you do something? Got a little out of hand. Guys, this argument is getting out of hand. Let's all calm down. Got a little out of hand. The party last night got out of hand. The neighbors called the police. You have to come to the party tonight. It's going to be a beer fest. It was a real food fest last night at Pete's house. There was enough food to feed a small country. We have to go to Jessica's birthday party. It's going to be a chick fest for sure. Nauseous. It's normal to feel nauseous sometimes during a pregnancy. Nauseous. Every time I get on a boat, I feel really nauseous. Nauseous. If you get nauseous on the plane, take 2 of these pills. Threw up. Carl got on the roller coaster and threw up all over me. Threw up. If you feel like you are going to throw up, be sure to tell me so I can pull over. Threw up. If you have too much to drink, you will throw up later. Pounding. I have a pounding pain in my head. Do you have any aspirin? Pounding. I can't take it anymore. I've had a pounding headache all morning. Pounding. My head started pounding the moment I saw my ex-girlfriend.